Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Rampage review for the 15th of um, October 2021. I don't know. I feel badly because I wanted to like a lot of this show, and also they come off desperate doing this whole buy-in thing. Anyway, Excalibur, Taz, and Ricky Starks are on commentary. Ty Conti with Anna Jay defeat Santana Garrett. 4 minutes 50 seconds. Um, Crowd is behind Conti early, ducks a clothesline, and takes Garrett down to the mat and head first. The idea behind this whole buy-in thing is because they're competing with SmackDown. Anyway, Conti misses a pump kick in the corner, but gets it on the second try. Conti fires up, follows up with a series of pump kicks in the corner, and Garrett stumbles out of the corner and into a DDT. Conti gets the win. Recap of Men of the Year American Top Team Dan Lambert storyline. Lambert is very good on the microphone, and they play a bunch of those clips. Infamous Bobby Fish defeating Lee Moriarty, 7:54. Fish gets his first win in AEW over Moriarty, who looked good in this match as well. Chant for Fish to start the match. Moriarty and Fish exchange ankle locks early. Moriarty gets into an arm lock. Fish fights out and backs Moriarty up into the corner. And then there's a bunch of elbows. Moriarty then continues and working over Fish's arm. Fish finally powers out, and Moriarty goes into the corner and hits a sliding lariat, dueling chants of let's go for each guy. And then Fish hits a slingshot senton for near fall, follows up with a snap suplex for another near fall. Fish then buries a knee into Moriarty's midsection, locks on a key lock. Moriarty battles out of the maneuver and catches Fish with a clothesline and then goes back to attacking the arm. Moriarty hits a flying back elbow and a gamagiri and then slides a dropkick on Fish for near fall. Fish comes back with a kick and a backdrop suplex for near fall. Fish then goes into a go behind. Moriarty attacks the arm again and does a backdrop suplex of its own. Fish hits a running knee and strike on and gives Moriarty an exploder suplex into the ropes before taking him out with a round kick to the head. Not a bad match overall. Then, of course, what everyone came for, Bryan Danielson and Masaru Suzuki. Danielson and Suzuki delivered what a lot of people are considering a classic match. Some people didn't like it. Interesting that the match has been polarizing. I think Suzuki is terribly overrated, unless you're one of the niche fans that really like Japanese stuff. I think Danielson is great and carried the guy. Anyway, so people are totally into Suzuki Strong. They announced a 30-minute time limit, and the crowd is behind Danielson from the beginning. He's greeted with yes chants, and off we go. Danielson works the arm, and the crowd chants, "This is wrestling." They certainly have been conditioned to like certain things very strongly. Suzuki transitions into an abdominal stretch and transitions into a chin lock. Danielson counters and goes for knee bar, but Suzuki gets to the ropes. Both men get to their feet, and Suzuki goes after the fans a good bit. Danielson gets an ankle lock, picks up and goes for a dragon screw leg whip, but Suzuki escapes. Danielson then goes after Suzuki with a hard kick, and Suzuki is not impressed. Danielson unloads with a forearm and then sends Suzuki back into the ropes. Suzuki comes back with a hard chop. Suzuki then taunts Danielson and unloads on Suzuki with a round kick. Suzuki then responds with another chop. Danielson comes back with a front kick and Suzuki nails him with a forearm, and um, the crowd's chanting like they've just seen something spectacular. Danielson gets up and puts Suzuki on the line with a series of kicks and hits elbows and forearms. Suzuki gets to the ropes and catches Danielson with a Jujigatami into the ropes, and then they fight to the floor. Back in the ring, Suzuki works over Danielson, and the crowd is behind him and Suzuki at the same time, so they're chanting for everybody, so no one's really getting over. And then tries to lock on the arm, tries to hammerlock him. Danielson breaks and gets the ropes. Danielson then tries to escape to the floor. Suzuki follows up and tries to whip Danielson into the post, but Danielson counters and then sends Suzuki to the post head first. Danielson follows up with a running knee strike off of the apron onto the floor. Back in the ring, Danielson unloads into Suzuki with a front kick. Danielson grabs Suzuki by the arms and stomps Suzuki. Danielson locks on the cattle mutilation and rolls into a pinning combination for near fall. Danielson backed Suzuki into a corner and hit chops and kicks, and he goes into the corner, follows up with a running dropkick into the corner. Suzuki then counters with a kick into the corner and then hits a place kick. Danielson pops right up, and then Suzuki goes for it second time. Danielson gets up again. Third time keeps Danielson down for a 2 count. Suzuki allows Danielson to recover, and Danielson wins with a second battle of strikes, counters, and locks on the Fujiwara armbar. Danielson gets to the ropes. Suzuki allows the ref to distract him, and then allows Danielson to go for the label lock, and then goes into a pinning combination. Suzuki then gets to his feet, and Justin Roberts makes the 15-minute time call. Both men get back to their feet, and the crowd chants "Fight Forever." And Suzuki and Danielson go back to exchanging forearms. Suzuki then puts his hands behind his back and gives Danielson free shots, and then Danielson is happy to oblige him, apparently. Taz then basically says, if you're not watching this on YouTube, you're dumber than a box of rocks. Suzuki and Danielson keeps exchanging forearms. Crowd chants C for Danielson and no for Suzuki. Suzuki locks on the sleeper. Danielson escapes. Suzuki goes for the pile driver, but Danielson backed up. Suzuki runs the ropes and catches him with a flying knee. Danielson gets the win. 5 minutes to go. Recap of Punk's AEW debut. The package on Seidel and Punk. And they both get their big breaks in the Midwest, and Seidel is coming into the business just as Punk is becoming a Midwestern star. Seidel is making his entrance, and the buy-in ends, Rampage begins. This match goes 14:44 on TV. There's no commercial breaks in this. Crowd is obviously happily behind Punk. They start with a handshake and respect. Punk is 4-0 against Seidel in previous meetings, the last in 2010. Commentators point out that Seidel might want to test the wind of Punk. Seidel then gets Punk into a bow and arrow. Punk escapes and slams Seidel and tries to go at him pretty aggressively. Seidel gets Punk in a chin lock, and then it tries and turns him into a stump puller, and then rolls onto a pinning combination for near fall. Seidel follows up with a series of kicks to Punk's legs, and then wonders and worked on the knee. Seidel then goes for a lightning spiral early. Punk slides out, hits a drop kick for near fall. Punk then follows up with a leg lariat, and then goes for the neck breaker. Seidel rolls out and catches him with a sliding knee strike in the corner. Punk gets the apron and Seidel goes after him. Punk catches Seidel and slams him on the apron. Punk then hits slingshot senton for near fall. Then they do the trio spot and a sliding drop kick. Seidel pulls himself in. Punk and Seidel battle. Top rope, both guys knock each other to the floor. Both guys back in the ring before the 10 count and exchange a bunch of strikes. Punk then goes for a suplex, but Seidel counters with a knee strike and gets a near fall. Seidel then goes for the lightning spiral. Punk then counters Hangman's neckbreaker. Punk follows up with a knee strike in the corner and a short arm clothesline near fall. Seidel locks on the ankle lock and then transitions into a straitjacket. Punk counters into the Anaconda Vice, but Seidel gets to the ropes. Punk goes for the Pepsi twist, and Seidel escapes. Seidel blasts Punk with a roundhouse kick and then hits lightning spiral. And then Seidel goes to the top. Punk gets to his feet and then avoids Seidel's attack. Seidel then goes for a crucifix, but Punk counters with a move to the GTS. Punk gets the pin. Punk has certainly come back strong. John Silver challenged Super Click on behalf of the Dark Order. Anyway, Ruby Soho defeats the Bunny in 9:45. What a stupid match. Soho was hot when they brought her in for the pay-per-view, and now they're putting her in there with a woman's mid-card goof at best. Anyway, Bunny dropkicks Soho and wedges her against the turnbuckle. Bunny then yanks Soho off the ropes, and Soho smacks her neck against the buckle. Neither of these looked to be comfortable. Commercial, then Soho makes a comeback. Bunny catches Soho with a German suplex off the middle ropes. Near fall, Bunny then goes for finish, but Soho counters. Backslide gets the pin. After match, Penelope Ford attacks Soho, so continuing to waste a talent that was hot on talent that is not. And then Ford and Bunny double team, and Ford knocks her out with brass knuckles. Rundown of upcoming shows. Dynamite is officially tomorrow. Kiera Hogan taking on Penelope Ford has been announced. Jon Moxley's taking on Wheeler Yuta. Rampage next week. TBS title tournament brackets will be announced, and there will be first round match for the World Title Elimination Tournament. Pac takes on Andrade. Mark Henry moderated the face-to-face segment with American Top Team in the Inner Circle. Masvidal, Men of the Year with Dan Lambert, and Masvidal defeat Jericho and Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, 11:28. Not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of bringing in MMA fighters unless you're really going to do an MMA style division. Lambert goes heel in the crowd for singing Jericho's song. Other members of American Top Team are shown in the crowd. Scorpio Sky goes after Guevara early with elbows starting, but Guevara comes back with a spinning kick off the ropes and a drop kick. Jericho gets the tag, and so did Dos Santos. And he made Jericho look very small. Dos Santos brutalized Jericho with fists, but then things get clumsy. There's a first exchange. Dos Santos looks more comfortable as the match goes on. Hager gets the tag and gets an advantage with the takedown. Dos Santos comes back with a knee and gets tagged to Scorpio. Jericho then gets a tag and drops to the floor to confront Lambert and Masvidal. And the other members of the Men of the Year attack Jericho on the floor, and show goes for picture-in-picture break with Jericho in a good bit of trouble. Back from the break, Dos Santos power slams Jericho for a near fall, and then Ethan Page misses a kick. Jericho catches him with an enziguri and tags off to Guevara. Guevara hits a double springboard cutter on Sky. this just doesn't mesh with the whole MMA style thing. Anyway, Spanish Fly on Page Jericho comes back in, hits a drop kick and a double axe handle on Sky, and then a Lionsault for near fall. Everything goes nuts. Hager and Dos Santos fight on one side, and they fight on the floor. Guevara and Page. Anyway, and then Hager puts Dos Santos through a table on the floor with a Uranagi back in the ring. Jericho goes for a codebreaker. Sky counters into a TKO attempt. Jericho countered and then gets to the walls of Jericho. Paige Van Zandt leaves her seat and jumps on the apron to distract the ref. This allows Masvidal to run in and hit a running knee on Jericho and allows them to get the pin. Post-match, Van Dant takes selfies with all the Americas of America's top team and men of the year. Beat on Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz run down, chase off the members of Lambert's crew. Crowd is happy with the inner circle, and the program closes. We'll be back with more right after this.